Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. So in this episode, I will be revisiting the old setup basically for Grease Pencil to generate audio. But currently, I have animation nodes, Sverchok, and audio nodes kind of connected together. So let's see what happens if I plug in this oscillator of audio nodes into the sync. So we have this sound. That's basically based on the resampling of this Grease Pencil. And it will measure whatever height or frequency, minimum and maximum of the Grease Pencil, and then turning it into noise or audio. If I go to any frame, change the Grease Pencil stroke, we're gonna see that we're gonna have different tones. So I can actually do a quick doodles. Let's say something like this, and it's gonna generate sound based on the Grease Pencil strokes. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Let me unplug this. So we have this frequency value that's clearly being controlled by something, and I'm not running my timeline at the moment, so it's not depending on the running playback. If I run the playback, it will actually make sound and changes based on the Grease Pencil. So that's actually can be quite interesting if you want to arrange some kind of musical performance, right? For every couple of beats, gonna pick another pattern and gonna generate sound based on this. So yeah, so this definitely something is running in the background and the frequency is changing, and the frequency is changing is actually its animation nodes controlling Sverchok. So you can see Sverchok in Sverchok there's this item that keeps changing and running and processing, and animation nodes is actually doing that. Remember when I told you animation nodes have one node that's kind of strange. This one, this transform objects can run by itself. It's controlling Susan head, so there's a hidden Susan head, and Susan heads keep running and translating, while at the same time we monitor the position of Susan head, monitor the locations in the y-axis. So Susan is running that way. Let me show you actually. So I select Susan and option G, where is it? Okay, that's the object that's keep running in the background, and I monitor the Y position, and I'm using this modulo 8. Why 8? Because I'm using resample. I'm resampling the Grease Pencil 8 times using Sverchok. So inside Sverchok we have we select Grease Pencil based on the frame number. So whenever we change the frame, it's gonna pick the right Grease Pencil, and then of course I use this cubic spline and evaluate curve just to resample that point. And then after I do that, I separate the vector value, get the Z position of the Grease Pencil resampling, and then I remap it. And if we actually want, let's see if we can list item and get the evaluate curve. Actually, don't worry about it. So I was just thinking if we can kind of get the Susan head to kind of pop while the music is playing, and then after we map the range, I get the item. So this one is getting the the item number based on this value. Okay, so it's gonna resample. If I actually make the resample a little bit higher, it's gonna be a little bit more interesting, I think. So let's say we resample the grid stencil 24 times. So we change this modulo to 24. What's gonna happen is that it's gonna cycle between 0 and 24. So once it reaches 23, it's gonna go back to 0, and it's gonna select the value of this Susan head and translate it into this oscillator of audio notes. Okay, so that's I think that's really powerful. So maybe something that you can try to do in the future. Maybe not related to audio, but nevertheless. So it might seem a little bit slow, so I can actually increase or decrease the speed based on the animation notes. That's actually a very interesting sound. It sounds almost like Pac-Man. I can try increasing it. That means this is actually like really fast. So I can actually perform. I have to select the grid pencil, but I can perform by doing this. So I can select grid pencil again and then go to draw mode. Let's make something. Currently, the limitations, of course, it's only work for a single stroke of grid pencil. Maybe I could try to have multiple strokes. That could be a little bit more complicated, but seems to be seems possible, and that way you can have like a chord. And ideally, also currently we are resampling it at the same distance of the strokes. Ideally, maybe we just want to pick up the top, you know, like the apex of the stroke. So maybe that's can be something that's more selective, or maybe, but currently also it's all kind of linear for every melody. I think ideally the melody can actually have different what is it called? Different length. So the melody can, instead of keep doing tut 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 tut, you know, like same speed or same distance, it could kind of stops and hold that position or that value for a while and then goes to the next one. That's probably something that can be randomized using animation nodes. I don't know yet. I think it's possible. As soon as I do that, as if I add like a wiggle, for example. So if I wiggle this guy, So vector wiggle. If I have these objects and I have vector wiggle, so I get these locations, and I'm gonna wiggle this using the value of itself. Maybe it's gonna have a cycle, I don't know. Or maybe I shouldn't do that. Normally I control the wiggle using the evolution, but normally evolution is controlled by frame. I don't want to move the frame number. I want the frame number to be static, but it's controlling the audio. But I think vector noise, vector wiggle can kind of control the frame, so it's not like linear. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So it's audio nodes, Sverchok, and animation nodes all working together to make some kind of synth. Hopefully this is useful, interesting. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.